Number 15. Teleporting Watson, Sherlock Holmes' nemesis. The game allows players to switch between Holmes and his assistant Watson. However, an oversight during production meant the developers neglected to put any walking animation to Watson's AI. Since the game requires Watson and Holmes to be within close proximity, Watson will seemingly teleport behind the player once they moved far enough away. Players have made comparisons to Slender Man for the stalking-like behavior and motionless stance Watson has as he stares at the player. Moving from room to room, players cannot escape the fast reflexes of Watson's AI, and he will constantly appear by the player's side, no matter how far they go or how fast. Developers never released a patch to add walking script to Watson, and have never announced their intention to do so. Thus, the glitch will remain there for players to discover. Number 14. The Suicide Photographer, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. This eerie NPC is located near the border between Flint County and Los Santos, on the opposite side of the road of a small trailer park. The NPC's appearance varies, and many different skins have been discovered, from elderly persons to farmers to business people. The photographer can be observed taking several pictures of the river and horizon beyond it, before suddenly walking into the water to its death. The actual cause of the glitch is unknown, though it's credited as a simple walking path error, causing the person to walk straight ahead and drown. Many gamers have speculated to the reason of the suicidal photographer, and many have gone so far as to create extensive backstories in an attempt to explain its behavior, or give meaning to why such a strange occurrence would be included in the game. The suicidal photographer can be found at any time of the day, and has not been removed in any patches released since San Andreas hit the shelves. Number 13. Jibs, Fallout 3. When you kill someone in the game, save your game, then immediately load said save, the game's mechanics will sometimes forget to scatter the body parts around the map, and they will return to the default position. This glitch works best if players have the Bloody Mess perk, which increases chances of critical hits and will cause enemies to explode into a mass of body parts. Sometimes the glitch will take on AI characteristics, and the player will have the ability to speak with it, depending on whether or not the player had the ability to enter dialogue with the NPC. It's even been known to float around in various directions, though remain in the default position for the duration of the glitch, though most of the time Jibs will just stand there and do nothing. The name Jibs is short for giblets, a common gaming term used to describe the scattered body parts one will find in video games where dismemberment is possible. Number 12. Manimals, Red Dead Redemption. Players of this popular Western third-person shooter have observed a variety of humanoid NCPs acting like animals around the map. The most frequent are people flying in the sky, their legs bent at the knees and arms out, flapping like wings. When players shoot these bizarre creatures down, they can collect bird feathers from the bodies. The most disturbing glitches discovered include the Donkey People and Cougar Men. These rare glitched NPC appear to have contorted bodies and faces, some with their eyes appearing to bulge out of their skull. The NPCs make their respective animal noises, and the Cougar Men will chase the player around, growling and pouncing in attempts to kill them. Others have reported manimals mimicking snakes, horses and bears. On the opposite end, the Fort Mercer hideout side mission will sometimes spawn a floating coyote with a Mexican accent wielding a rifle, and will assist the player to clear the fort out. This NPC remains mostly motionless in a more default position, flying around killing bandits. Number 11. Bugged Intro, Fallout New Vegas. In early versions of the gameplay introduction with Dr. Mitchell and the player would bug out, causing Mitchell's head to spin around horizontally as if his bones suddenly turned into elastic. Once Mitchell stood up to lead the player around the home, he would float in a paranormal-like matter, with his head continually spinning and sometimes fixing in place completely upside down. The NPC would follow the player around the home and wouldn't stop until the player exited into the Mojave wasteland. The dialogue would continue as normal, though the movements would appear unsettling and downright scary, especially to first-time players. Developers quickly acted upon discovering the issue and released a patch fixing the broken AI, thus completely eradicating the bug and preventing it from occurring since. Number 10. Alma Glitch, Fear 2. In the first mission of the game, players will find a swimming pool in the penthouse floor and be shown a nightmarish vision of Alma walking towards the player before returning to the actual gameplay. On some occasions, Alma's AI won't disappear after the scene, and she'll follow the player around, pale face, white eyes, and red dress. No explanation has been found for the glitch, and Alma does no harm to the player, just creeps the living daylights out of them as she slowly walks towards you, staring you straight in the eyes. If players stop and let Alma catch up to them, she will stand there in a staring contest until the player finally leaves the area and continues the mission. For a game already designed to scare people, this glitch has become rather effective in giving fans a bonus scare for those always searching for more. Number 9. Riften Honeyside Manor Mannequins, Skyrim. As if the name of the location isn't creepy enough, players will find several mannequins in the basement which the players can place armor on. The more players visit the house, the more likely the glitch will occur. The mannequins will soon begin walking around and following the player, more often than not startling them since they can sneak up on players from behind while searching cabinets and chests. Players originally speculated this was purposely placed in the game as some sort of hidden legend surrounding the house. However, Bethesda Softworks confirmed it was a glitch in the game that turns on the mannequin AI, as they use the same one as regular NPCs throughout the game. The code used to turn off the walking and movement animation would sometimes fail, allowing them to walk around and stare at players, though no reports of conversation has happened. This glitch can be fixed by leaving the manor, then returning, or activating armor placement from their default positions. Number 8. Dismembered Torso, Dead Space 2. A rather fitting glitch, considering the dismemberment strategy of the game. Players have encountered problems when entering the armor upgrade stations scattered around the game. Upon entering the chamber, players have exited, finding their bodies have been cut in half, sometimes missing limbs. The player can continue the game as normal, if in a more grotesque manner than before. The cause of this glitch is unknown, and the only way to fix it is to reload from your last save point. The player's innards and broken bones are visible in a bloody mess, and the helmet remains floating. The sight is similar to a grotesque depiction of a ghost out of a horror story, except this time, you're in control of this ungodly sight. This glitch has become popular amongst fans and was actively sought in order to be triggered. Number 7. Ghost Cars, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. In the backwood areas around San Andreas, players can find abandoned damaged cars deep in the forest. If you view the cars from a distance, there is a chance you'll see the cars drive into their position and stop, with no drivers inside. Considering the many eerie locations around the San Andreas map, many have speculated these are ghost cars and were deliberately placed in the game as part of a hidden lore surrounding the state's history. Rockstar Games denied these claims and told players the cars are simply there to provide the typical backwoods atmosphere of beat-up and abandoned vehicles that one might find in a real-world location. Their movement was simply caused by the steep hills they spawned on, nothing paranormal in the game's code. This has not deterred gamers, and a mod was released for the game allowing players to be chased by the cars and for them to take on a sinister paranormal characteristic. Number 6. Luigi's Hanging Shadow, Luigi's Mansion. During the course of the game, lightning will briefly lighten the room, casting a shadow of Luigi. Upon entering the attic, the shadow will appear halfway up the wall and will mimic the sight of a hanging body from the ceiling. Luigi's shadow will have its arms by its side, legs hanging down, and his head facing slightly upwards. This glitch has caused gamers to theorize the entire game takes place in some sort of hell or purgatory for Luigi, who hanged himself before the game begins, and his soul is now trapped in the mansion until he brings the other spirits to rest. However, developers revealed the shadow was simply an oversight in development that wasn't spotted until after release, and was simply the shape of Luigi's model in the default position. Number 5. Phantom Foxy, Five Nights at Freddy's 3. During the game, the player has to reset the ventilation system, or else he or she will be jump scared by a burnt-looking version of the villains from the previous games. Occasionally, the Foxy jump scare will fail to act right away, leaving the withered Foxy standing upright on the other side of the room, staring. This glitch occurs if the player is jump scared by the Phantom Balloon Boy while Foxy's waiting in the office, and the AI doesn't kick in right away. What makes this particularly scary is the fact the player knows the jump scare is coming, yet not when, thus creating an intense feeling of anticipation and fear. For a game created to scare players, this glitch further adds to the dread of not knowing when the villain Springtrap or the other hallucinations will jump out at you. Eventually, the jump scare does occur, though players have found ways to prevent Phantom Foxy's attack, either by pulling up the monitor or maintenance panel. Number 4. Moving Corpses. Hitman Bloody Mummy. In certain levels of the game, players will discover corpses and will sometimes slide around the floor towards the player and all around the level. They are even able to open doors in order to continue moving around. Players first encountering the glitch felt panic and would attempt to flee, though the corpses continued to follow them for a while until stopping, or the level completing. There is no known cause to the glitch, though some have speculated it's caused by file corruption due to frequent saving, thus delaying the termination of the AI's chase instinct. While both disturbing and terrifying, there are no other effects on the game from the glitch, and corpses will do no harm to the player if touched. The best way to remove this glitch is to shut off the console and restart from your last save. Number 3. Missing No. Pokemon Red and Blue. Players will encounter this glitch through tricks in the game, allowing them to transport to regions of the game early on. Missing No is the game searching the game files for non-existing Pokemon, and its name is a derivative of missing number. Its appearance is a glitched set of boxes made of numbers and resembles TV static and a QR code. Players who have managed to capture Missing No have reported corrupted save files afterwards. The glitch has gained popularity in the creepypasta community, and there are many extensive stories surrounding the bizarre feature, including connections between this and the famous Pokemon Creepy Black story. Rumors have spread that if a player manages to level up the Missing No, it would transform into a ghost from Lavender Town Tower, or even various fossil Pokemon found in the game, though these are yet to be confirmed, and so far it's widely accepted Missing No cannot evolve. Number 2. Glitched Children and Pets. Sims 3. This glitch causes the babies and pets of Sims to stretch out into unrecognizable forms and make demonic movements around the home. Most often, the NPC models will stretch into spaghetti-like strings with deformed heads resting upon elongated necks and sharp-looking hands and feet. The glitch is caused by gamers downloading third-party content to the game, which can remove walking animations and corrupt essential files. Sims will act the same around these bugged-out NPCs, creating some disturbing sights, such as picking up a pet or child and making it look as if they're being attacked by a spawn of hell. The way to remove the glitch is by removing the additional content and patching the corrupted files via the install disk. Number 1. Deformed Characters. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Players found ways to hack the game's files in order to switch the moves of different characters, such as giving Pikachu the moves of Fox McCloud, but the result was not something anyone expected. Not only had the moves and abilities changed, but the physical appearance of the models had as well. Characters would grow stretched limbs, necks, and sometimes fall into stumps and jitter around the screen. No official explanation of the glitch has been given, but one suggestion is the AI becomes confused by the changes and attempts to change the body appearance in order for the character to perform the new moves. What results is deformed monstrosities of our once beloved gaming characters, hideous enough to scar players for life and ruin many childhoods for years to come.